Alright, so mostly what I'll be talking about today is chapters. Now that we're to the point to we're about to open our second chapter, go ahead and lay down how that's going to work. Um, Before, how we had it was we had chapters where they would have their own cuts, they would have their own bikes, they would have their own services, all that kind of stuff. That was a thing that we forced. You know, you had to have your own cut, your own bike, your own service type thing. This time, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let it be more up to the chapter themselves. You know, you guys wanna have your own cut, you can. You guys wanna follow the chocolate cut, you can. Or you guys just wanna not have that rule at all, you can. You know, I'm gonna let it be a lot more free on the chapters than we let it be before. Make it to where they get to make their own decisions more often. The main really only bylaws they're gonna, be universal or obviously respect each other, uh, how the hierarchy itself works, and that's pretty much it, really. I figured, like I said, I figured I'd let really the chapters have a lot more freedom this time. So that's really uh, something that I think was causing an issue last time was making the chapters have all these requirements and everything. So we're not going to do that this time. Um, So how other chapters will work for the most part is, at our table we have the president, vice president, sergeant at arms, uh, road captain, head enforcer, secretary, treasurer, and tail gunner. The other chapters are not going to have a head enforcer, secretary, treasurer, or tail gunner. These are only going to be things that are at the national table only. The other chapters are just going to have 4 enforcers, and one of those enforcers will be known as the lead enforcer. So how that will work will be the enforcers will obviously enforce the rules, but they'll also be responsible for helping protect members and stuff, kind of like, uh, kind of helping the sergeant at arms in that area. It's not their main responsibility, but it's kind of a side responsibility. Um, and then the lead enforcer will be the guy who's in charge of his chapter's enforcers, making sure that they are keeping people, enforcing the rules and everything. And then that lead enforcer will report to our head enforcer, Wilson. And whenever they're having an issue with a member that they think might need to be brought to the national table's attention, like maybe a full-on kicking from the club level thing, then it will be brought to our attention. For the most part, how punishments will work with chapters, that kind of thing, it's up to them how they want to handle it for the most part. We're going to allow it to where if a chapter really has an issue with a member and they just do not want that member in their chapter anymore, they can kick the member out of their chapter. They're not kicked out of the club, but they become a nomad. And from that point on, they have to find a new chapter, or if another chapter doesn't want them, they're just a nomad, and it becomes an issue. If we decide that we're going to kick them from the club completely, we'll leave that to the national table. Uh, this is mostly so that way there are not issues with tables battling for each other. The national table will be the table that makes the big final decisions, but that's mostly so there's not a power struggle between chapters. Uh, Mostly so that way nobody has any bad blood with each other because one chapter did something that another chapter doesn't like type thing. D's in here. Uh, Anybody got any questions on any of that so far? A fighting chapter? No, the chapters are more based on time zones and who you get along with and who you get to play with the most often and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's just 'cause we had like a issue. We had an issue with like time zones before, so that's the only reason why we do this now. Like, once we get enough members, that's kind of like how we did it last time. But it was just like Cody was saying, it was like a power struggle. Everybody just it was just a big mess. So more, like you said, more of a just time zone thing, and things of that sort. So that's all it is really. Is why. Plus, we can't have like 25 members in one clubhouse. So yeah, that's another reason why.
Anybody else got anything to say on that? So that's mostly how that will work. Prospects, how prospects will work from this point on. Well, once we get the chapter open, it's really right now we're still running as one chapter. So, but how prospects will work is depending on who their sponsor is, who they're playing with the most often, and that kind of stuff, they'll become a prospect for a chapter. And the prospect time will end when that chapter, as the table votes them in. It will become up to the table to vote in their prospects when they decide if they're ready to join. Obviously, their sponsor will still get a strong say in when they're ready for that vote. But uh, yeah, they'll have more of a say. The chapter itself will have more of a say in who their prospects are and who joins them in the long run are that. Um, like I said, in the future when we do uh, different chapters, nomads will be members who were voted out of their chapter. What's up, D? The nomads will be those members who were voted out of their chapters, mostly maybe because somebody doesn't get along with each other, or somebody's not being as active as the chapter would like, something along those lines. Again, this is mostly up to the chapter to decide, what the best course of action for their chapter will be. It's not going to really be an us choice. Um, so how it will work in the future is when we do open these chapters, when we have our votes at our tables at the national club, when we are deciding that, hey, we're going to change a bylaw, or we're going to, edit something like that that's going to affect the club as a whole, we do our vote here at the table. And what will happen with the individual chapters is they will have their own votes before us. They'll have their own individual votes, and they'll have a answer as a whole. So let's say, Vinewood has a vote and most of them vote yes for whatever it is that we put forward, then that chapter's vote is now yes. So they'll have a representative come to the national chapter at the national service and tell us what their chapter's final say was. So that way the chapters still get a say, but we're not sitting here having they get 1,800 people's input type thing all at the same time. So they'll have their vote, they'll send a representative like the president or something to come to the national, and they'll say our vote for this was yes or no, and their vote will count towards whatever it is that we were talking about. Um, Any questions on any of this so far? No. The other thing is, from this point on, when a prospect, until we get our other chapters open, when a prospect makes full patch, they'll be getting the San Andreas patch right now instead of the national patch, mostly because when we do open the other chapters, we don't want anybody to feel like they got downgraded or anything like that, because the national patch does kind of stand out compared to the normal ones. So I just don't want anybody to feel like they went down a notch when that wasn't the case. So from this point on, people will get the San Andreas patch, because in the future, what that normal national patch will represent is those members who are super dedicated and are always here, always playing, but really just don't want that extra responsibility of a table spot or anything like that. They just want to be a part of it. That's really what that national patch is for, is those really dedicated members who just don't want that extra power. That's mostly what it's about. So, any questions on any of this so far? No. All right. That's all I really had to say on everything so far. Uh, Anybody else that got anything else to bring up?
Rico, did you want to tell him about the thing going on tonight? Since we can't really put in
Sure he
Discord.
knows.
Huh?
You know about the event tonight, right?
Me? I mean,
Yeah.
like that we didn't have the rules explained to us.
Yeah, because they depending on how many people came.
Yeah.
It would have changed depending on how many people came.
So we really got about 10
So,
people, so we should be good.
yeah. So after church, we can explain the rules and everything, get everybody together.
Alright, that'll
Uh,
work.
all right. Anybody else got anything?
I do have something.
Um,
If
oh,
nobody else does,
go ahead,
everybody
Rico. I'll
go
go ahead.
first.
Go ahead, Rico. I'll go after you. Go ahead.
So, um, are we back to recruiting again, or was that already in effect?
Yeah, I've been recruiting. Past, I'm gonna be recruiting all next week. Try to get us. I'm hoping we can get ourselves like 5 prospects here pretty quick. I think that would be a good group to get to know each of them and then bring in another 5 type thing.
Okay, because I know everybody's been, posting the Facebook and we have the posters, but I'm gonna go through every Facebook group for GTA recruiting, and I'm gonna post the website and see what we can do with that. Um, so people can also see everything that we have on there as well, and the application is on there, so they can go through that and fill that out as well. So um, whoever has access uh, to the website, if you want to post it as well, and that would help us out too.
All right.
Um, guys, make sure we're. I've been kind of just watching, sit back and watching, because, I'm in charge of Discord. So please, let's make sure we're posting things in the right spot in Discord. Like, if you're having one conversation, that's fine. But, like, let's make sure you're keeping that same conversation in the spot of that, wherever you started it at. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like, club chats for everybody. If you're in national chat, just keep it in national chat or whatever, or table members, whatever. Because I've just been noticing it's been like a lot of three, four, five, six different conversations going on in the Discord. So let's try to keep it simple. Let's try to keep it in the same area. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want a bunch of just junk. We trying to make sure it's organized. So nobody's doing that wrong. I just want to clarify that with everybody. Just try to make sure we're keeping all the same conversations in that wherever you're having it at. So that's all.
Yeah, that I do need to update the Discord guide because I did change a bit of the Discord and haven't updated that to reflect it yet. But yeah, try to like the photo wall. That's mostly just to share photos. You can share photos of your real life self, your family, your dog, but mostly it's for in-game photos type of thing. So that way we can use it for recruitment posters and videos in the future and stuff. Uh, you know, Try not to sit there and have a whole conversation in the uh, like the lists of information type thing.
Right. Yeah, just not trying to sound like a dick or nothing, but just trying to keep it all simple.
Yeah. Once we figure out Discord, it'll be a lot easier to manage because I try to make it to where everyone can't sit there and
Hmm.
have whole conversations on lists, but I'm still figuring it out myself.
Yeah, I've been keeping a watch too. I've been kind of like watching it myself as well, so I'm always got an eye out as well.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah. So anybody got anything else to say on anything? No. All right. Well, that's it for today. Let's go chase each other around like cops.